Welcome to another episode of Dynamic Diecasters, where this week we're going to continue our Star Wars Build Your Own X-Wing build, with this one being stages 45 through 48. And with that, when we come back, we'll go ahead and get started on stage 45. Welcome back. Like I said before the break, we were going to go ahead and get started on stage 45, which today is going to be that build that I kind of don't like, so I'm kind of hoping it goes pretty quick today. I don't think it will because it typically doesn't, but we'll see how it goes. So with that, we'll go through the parts and then we'll go ahead and get started with the build. Yeah, this build's just the one that I don't really care for all that much, but I've only got to do this after this time one more time. So, so there's that to look forward to. So let me get all these parts out of here and then we'll go ahead and get started. So first part is we got the internal bulkhead. We've got in here, we've got a dark gray pipe. We've got 4 plant-on details and then 8 silver pipework details. We've got the inner wing frame. We've got the engine mount brace, and then we've got another engine mount brace. We've got the laser cannon cable, and then we've got a multitude of screws. So we've got 14 XW02 screws. We've got 5 XW03 screws. We've got 6 XW04 screws, and we've got 5 XW05 screws. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started, and I'll see you. Well, it'll be 30 to 45 seconds for you guys, but it'll be about an hour for me. So I'll see you in a few minutes. And that's it for stage 45. So we did quite a bit in that stage. I think we did more in that stage than we normally customarily do when building this part up. But anyhow, we added all the mounts right here and all the screws. There were a ton of them. And then we ran the laser cannon LED cable all the way to here. Then we mounted the engine. And then we ran its cable to this section as well. It only took me about 20 minutes, so obviously I'm getting faster. So that was it for that stage. The next part is actually the part that I'm not really looking forward to. This part always kills me because the amount of the minute details that go into it, and it looks like it wouldn't take very long to complete, but it ends up taking me quite a bit of time. So we'll go again and get started though on stage 46. So stage 46, we've got the power input unit upper half, and then we've got the lower half. So if you guys remember, this is the one where we've got 16 items of pipework detail. And then 2 screws. So yeah, so I will time lapse this part. This part will probably take me a while because there's just a lot of little intricate stuff that goes into this part that'll take me quite a few minutes. I've brought it down quite a bit because I've done it twice already. This will be the 3rd time, but it's still taking me quite a while. So with that, we'll complete the build and then I'll show you what we did when we come back. See you in a few. And that's it for stage 46. That had to be a record. It took me only about 30 minutes to actually do that part. So what we did was we put this power piece together and all the side details, and then attached it to the engine mount. That's pretty much what we did in that stage. 47 is coming up, and I believe it's just covering that part up. So we may be able to just do this without time lapsing for this section. The next two maybe, actually. So in this stage, there's like only a few parts. Most of them being plant-on details for the leading edge support. With that, we'll go through the parts. This is the engine cover. Then we've got the upper skin. Then we've got the trailing edge support, and we've got cover plugs. And then we've got 3 plant-on details. And then lastly, we've got 4 XW02 screws. I'll go ahead and get those ready, because it's literally just the portion where we put the upper skin over the area where all the wires are and cover them up. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. First step we'll take the engine assembly, just like this. Then we'll take the trailing edge stuff. First thing is we got this with the pin, and then we've got the area with the pin on this one. So basically we'll fit those together where they will work. Once that's done, then we put it into the trailing edge support, and there's a spot with 2 notches, but there's a shape that it fits. And then there's another side detail that's D-shaped, so it can only go on there one way, so we'll fit that there. One's kind of pointy. And then the trailing edge support should be done. Then we take that and there's a portion at the back, the rear end of right above the engine. But there's 2 notches and there's a lip, so it's not like you can put it in any other way. So there's that piece. Then we take the upper skin and we'll lay it in. And there's only really one way this can go in, because there's 3 holes, but there's notches in the side that this will go in. Then we'll take the 3 X02 screws and we'll screw that in. Then we'll cover them up with the covers. That way you don't see the screw holes at the end of the day. These ones were easier to put in this time than the last one. If you watched the last episode where I did this, you heard a big pop for every time I put one of those in. This time it didn't do that. And then the last part we will do is the engine cover. There's 4 notches on here that match the power place right here, so you just have to line it up. There we go. And that's it for this stage. I'm going to keep this because I know the next stage we put the laser cannon on the wing and we complete the wing. So with that, we'll move on to stage 48. And there's pretty much 3 pieces in this stage, but I have the other laser cannon that we put together previously over there that we'll do at the end. And I'm not going to time lapse this one either because there's literally, I think, maybe 10 steps, 16 steps, but we'll be through a few of them pretty quick. So, as we've seen before, this is the lower skin of the wing. Then we've got the outer edge strip and the inner edging strip. And then we've got 4 XW02 screws. If I can get this bag open, it would be, there we go. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started, and when we're done with this, we're done with the episode for today. So first thing we're gonna do, we've got all the parts over here. Let me pull the laser over. We're gonna take the outer edge strip. The pins are gonna go on the outside. They can only go one way because the pins are lined up inside here only one way, so it's not like you can, let me see if I can pull that up because it kind of went in funky. Fucking kidding me. That out. So you push that in, and then this side, the outer edge goes this way. Again, there's only one way it can really go in, so and then that's it for those parts, and that's already 6 of the steps. So the next part is related to the laser. So we'll turn this over. We'll route the laser cable through this hole. And then actually, I'm going the wrong way. We'll route it through this hole. I'm going to pull it down a little bit so it's not in the way. Then these pins will align. There's pins on the laser cannon that will align with this. If I can get it to actually go in there. There we go. Those will sit in, and this will be what we use the screws for. So there's 3 of them. Let me fix that again and lift this up so I can actually, dang it. them in. Here's the first one. Here's the second one. And one more. And then the next stage of this next step will be just plugging in the laser cable into the bottom, which basically all we have to do is lift this up, plug it in, and then put it back down and make sure this just stays kind of up and out of the way. Let me turn this a little bit. For some reason it's being finicky all of a sudden. There we go. Oh. There we go. There's the laser attached and the LED hooked up, and the last step basically will be to I guess we can test the LED first, so I'll show you that it still works. Well, that's the engine one. You saw it on my shirt. If you can see, the laser tip is lit up still. So we know everything's working. And you saw that the engine one lit up if you look at my shirt. So everything's still working. Now the last step is actually just to pop the wing into place, and we'll be done with this stage. So basically there's pins, there's 8 of them that align to the metal on here. So they're all right here on the wing, and then a few more on the metal. So once you do that, I think at some point before I actually completely put this together, I might actually glue these into place, because as you can see they pop quite a bit. Anyways, that's it for this one, this wing. I think, which one was this again? I think it was the lower starboard, yeah, lower starboard wing. So now we've got 3 wings. And I know one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these, because these don't, even though there's a notch, for some reason they don't like to stay in place. So that is going to be one thing when I complete the build I will do. So that's the end of stage 40, I think it was 49, wasn't it? 48. So that concludes this episode. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know we've done a lot of repetitive builds with there being 3 wings that we've put together since we started, but you know, the X-Wings got 4 of them, so we're almost there with the wings. It'll be interesting once we get to the middle what we start doing. We've only done a couple of things with that at this point, so the next episode we'll continue this build. We're down to our last couple of boxes until we get another shipment in. So in 2 more episodes, we'll be moving on to something else, one of our other builds, like Ghostbusters or maybe the Enterprise, depending upon which one shows up first. They're coming about the same time, so who knows. Anyhow, if you enjoy what you're watching, go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And hit that bell so you get notified when our episodes come out. But for all of us at the Heart of Geek, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Dynamic Diecasters, and I'll see you next time. Have a good night.